Yo, what's going on, fellow YouTubers? It's your boy ACB2 here, back with another video. And this time your boy's here to talk some My Hero Academia Chapter 133. Gotta be honest with you, man, I absolutely loved this chapter because there's a bunch of crazy stuff going on. To start things off, you know, we got that continuation of how last chapter ended. We know that your boy Sun Eater got shot with a bullet that pretty much took away his quirk, and we didn't know where it was going from there. When this chapter started, man, I was a little worried for your boy Kirishima, to be honest with you, man. He seemed like he was doing some dumb stuff. He was kind of sympathizing with the villain, you know, feeling sorry for him, and kind of giving him a pep talk almost, you know. He was telling the villain, hey, how can you just run and abandon your friends and leave your friends behind like that? And the villain is giving them a sob story talking about, man, I want to be stronger and this and that. And I'm like, as a hero, man, especially as a guy that's had countless encounters with villains at this point, you should know better than to, not only run off by yourself, but two, don't sympathize with them, alright? There's a reason he's a villain. You know he's not around here doing good shit, so do not feel sorry for him. Unfortunately, Kirishima did feel sorry for him, and I was a little worried about your boy. We see Kirishima, you know, and he's chasing this guy, and he's running him down. He's doing this hero thing. But man, he messed up so bad that I didn't think he was going to get out of that spot. Kirishima, being a good dude that he is, chased after this guy. He had him trapped in the alley, and you see this dude and you're like, okay, Kirishima should be able to take him out, you know. All this guy could do is really shoot the bullet. There's a reason why he ran. Well, it turns out that this guy has an ability where he can make blades come out of his body, but the blades can't even get any longer than 10 centimeters. So at this point, I'm like, okay, Kirishima might be all right. You know, he might be all right. He might be safe. Obviously, he's got the hardened quirk, so there's really nothing to worry about. Well, it turns out that's not really the case. Now, not only do they have this bullet that can stop quirks from working, but they also have something else that apparently enhances quirks. So this dude gives himself a shot of, I'm going to assume to be some kind of quirk steroid right in his neck. And the next thing you know, those blades go from 10 centimeters to 10,000 centimeters. And I'm like, oh shit, this is not going to be good. So even with that happening, I'm still like, all right, Kirishima's all right. You know, we know he's got the hardening quirk. He should be good. Well, it turns out not so much. Not only is his hardening quirk, it's working, you know, but this dude can still penetrate his skin even though he's hardening. So I'm like, man, we about to lose our first member of the class 1A. So I was a little worried for your boy, but then, you know, stuff changed. One thing I loved about this is not only that we got a flashback, you know, but we kind of got to learn him, see who he is a little bit as a person. Obviously, we know he spent a lot of time with Bakugo, and what you really didn't understand was that he kind of felt like he was behind the rest of the class. When I say that, you know, he kind of feels like everyone else has these flashy quirks where they can fire things off and shoot projectiles, whereas his quirk is basically only hardening. And one thing I actually loved about this flashback is that you kind of see a different side of Bakugo. If there's one person in that class that I feel like Bakugo got closer to, it's definitely Kirishima. And you kind of see Bakugo say something to him, and it's like the first time Bakugo's not going off saying die or F you or calling somebody a shithead, but he's actually kind of giving them legit advice, you know. And through that flashback, you kind of find out that the advice was actually pretty solid. Obviously they've been through a lot. They've had so much training. They've had the training in the forest. They've had all these encounters with villains. So, you know, Kirishima, through all that experience and through the advice of Bakugo, he finally comes up with an idea, you know. He's like, you know, I can't just stay the same. I've got to push myself further, go beyond. And he actually intensifies his hardening. So not only does he harden even more, you know, but I mean, dude is looking badass. He looks like his hardening just got a major upgrade. And finally, he's gotten himself hardened to the point where he can break these blades. And I actually loved all in all, in terms of the chapter, I loved it because you finally got to kind of get a showcase of someone else. Granted, you know, it was a chapter about Kirishima last week, and I'm glad that they continued it this week. I feel like he's one of those guys that you really like, but you don't get to see a lot of. So I'm glad that they actually kind of gave him some shine. And not only that, you know, they kind of took the attention away from Midoriya a little bit. Granted, we know it's Midoriya's story, but he's not the only character in the story. So I'm glad that they gave Kirishima a little bit of shine. All in all, man, it was a great chapter. I loved everything about it, but I am worried about what's going to become of this whole thing with the villains. I mean, the villains are getting sharper, they're getting smarter, and a lot of times, back in the past, it used to seem like their plans were really dumb and really didn't make any sense and really half-assed, but now this is like they got some real shit up their sleeves, and how the heroes going to counter this shit? I mean, they got a bullet that can take away quirks, and now they got something else that can enhance quirks, you know? Like, why is it, dude? Oh, my God. Why is it that the bad guys keep getting all the good shit, and the good guys are, like, always playing catch-up? For once, man, for once, can the good guys not get ahead of some shit like this? But I'm glad to see that Kirishima, he's gotten his opportunity to step up and show what he can do. You know, he's stuck in that alley. He's actually protecting people, and he's actually pushing himself. He's showing that he's not actually behind Bakugo like he thinks he is. He's up there. It's just that his quirk is different, and he's got to find a different way to kind of get where everyone else is. All in all, I don't know where it's going from this point, but I think that there's going to be some kind of meeting with the heroes to kind of discuss everything that's going on. Obviously, you know, for all these interns and shit, everything seems to be tied into the 8 precepts of death. I did not see this quirk enhancement thing coming, so I think that adds a new dynamic to the story itself, and I'm really curious to see how the heroes are going to combat that. Other than that, guys, that's going to do it for the review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If so, go ahead and leave your boy a thumbs up button, because I love getting thumbs up. Also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I'm adding more and more to what I'm reviewing, and I'm going to be adding some different kind of videos, which is going to be a surprise. I'm not spoiling that shit. You're going to have to wait and see what happens, so, you know, make sure you're a part of that. Other than that, that's going to do it. As always, I'm your boy, HCB2. Do great, be great. I will catch you guys in the next video, man. Peace!